I'm Stephen Phillips with the Pacific States Marine Fisheries Commission, and go over some of the invasive species issues, particularly quagga zebra mussels that we're facing now in the western U.S. If you don't know about Pacific States Marine Fisheries Commission, we're comprised of 5 states. As you can see, we started an invasive species program in 1999, and we are concerned about invasive species impacts on commercial recreational fishing, as well as habitats that they depend on. And from the beginning, zebra and quagga mussels have been a primary concern. At the bottom there are some of the agencies that fund our work, including Bonneville Power Administration, Fish and Wildlife Service, and Army Corps of Engineers. In the western U.S., a lot of the agencies and tribes participate in the Western Regional Panel on Aquatic Nuisance Species. Blaine Parker is on the executive committee of the WRP. You've seen slides already about the potential impacts of zebra and quagga mussels to fish passage and hydropower. If the fish ladders and traveling screens are compromised, it makes it a lot more difficult to generate power. So Bonneville Power Administration, Corps of Engineers, and Fish and Wildlife agencies, it's all in our best interest to keep the mussels out of the Columbia River Basin. This is what happens when mussels do show up. On the upper left here, this is from the actually early 1990s back in Lake Ontario. That is a cooler unit on a turbine. Those are all mussels right there. These are all mussels. This is down at Hoover Dam about 2010, a couple of years after mussels showed up in Lake Mead. And this is the type of stuff that you need to buy if you're running a hydro operation for your cooling water. That's a UV unit, and they're not cheap. So each one of your turbines needs to have one of these, so that costs add up very quickly. You've seen a map already on quagga zebras and where they are. Here's another look at it. Those blue dots you see here, these are all watercraft inspection stations. And then most recently, this is what has happened in terms of the expansion of quagga and zebra mussels over the last 2 years, starting down in the southwest, Lake Amistad in Texas. That just happened this month. They found adults. They thought they were there. They had found villagers. Now they have a full infestation. Highline Lake was October of 2022 in Colorado. They tried draining and partially draining and then treating that reservoir with a copper product. It didn't work. They're in the process right now of trying again. They're going to draw it down further. They're going to hit it with copper again. Hopefully they'll get it this time. Pactola Reservoir in the Missouri Basin was 22. Lake Oahe in South Dakota was 23. And Lake Oahe goes into North Dakota. So North Dakota is probably going to get mussels in the near future as well. And then, of course, the Snake River, which you've heard all about from previous speakers. Just wanted to show that this is a boat that is heavily fouled with mussels. It's a houseboat. These are all mussels. It takes about 2 weeks to decontaminate this boat. This is another reason you don't want mussels. So when we decontaminate watercraft, what we want to do is kill all the mussels and veligers. It's on those heavily fouled boats like this, you can't get all the mussels off, but you can kill them all. Let's see. So here we are with different types of decontamination. That's Jesse Schultz right there with the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, decontaminating a boat with hot water wash. That's a veliger, and that's a ballast tank in a ski boat. So that needs to be decontaminated as well. And when you decon these boats, we talk a lot about monitoring for eDNA in the environment. You're still going to have eDNA on these boats. There's no way to get rid of all of it. One of the things we realized early on is that we needed as a region to be able to decontaminate watercraft in a regionally consistent way. So we came up with this very lengthy title of Uniform Minimum Protocols and Standards for Watercraft Inspection and Decontamination, also referred to as UMPS. And the purpose of this document, so that everybody's working off the same playbook, is to provide best possible recommendations for watercraft inspection and decontamination, and to provide the best standards, practical science and technology. For example, in using hot pressure wash, you want to use 140 degrees on the exterior of the boat for 10 seconds, 120 degrees interior for a minute plus. And then it needs to be pressurized so that you can knock the mussels off, but not so pressurized that you damage the outside of the boat. And then also, if you do not have access to a watercraft decontamination system, you can always dry the boat. And there are some of the times it takes at certain temperatures to kill off mussels. What a lot of states have done now is gone to 30 days. If a boat shows up, they can't decontaminate it before it can launch in waters. It has to be out of the water for 30 days before launching. That will ensure that all the mussels are killed. We have had some new technology developments in the last couple of years. So for conventional ballast water decontamination, you can see the tech here injecting hot water into the ballast tanks. This takes a really long time. And if you, places like Lake Mead or other very busy waterways, if you have 20 or 30 boats coming off the water at once, you can't decontaminate all the boats. So Utah Department of Wildlife Resources, they contracted out and got these dip tanks made, like big swimming pools. So the boats are backed in, the engine is started, the ballast tanks are started, and they let them, it's about 105 degrees. It sits in there for several minutes to ensure killing all of the veligers and mussels on the outside of the boat. And again, once this thing comes out, it's going to still be positive for eDNA, but you do know that everything is dead. At the Commission, with funding from Bonneville Power Administration and Fish and Wildlife Service, we've led the training, watercraft inspection and decontamination training for the last, let's see, 18 years. Yeah. So our lead trainer in this is Elizabeth Brown, who used to be with Colorado Parks and Wildlife. And so what is taught is how you go back to the Uniform Minimum Protocols and Standards, UMPS, take that science, apply it on the ground, and then we have different levels of inspection and decontamination training. As you can see, the level 1, level 2, level 3 are now all virtual. We will have an advanced decon where we bring in a whole bunch of boats, and it's usually a group of about 20, 25 people, and they go through all the different types of decontaminations that are necessary for ski boats, bass boats, houseboats. These trainings are open. And so if you go to westernas.org and go to the trainings tab, you can see how to sign up. And everybody who's on this call can do level 1. So please, if you've got questions, go to westernas.org, go to the trainings tab. Switching up a little bit here, part of the work we do at the Commission is work on federal legislation and appropriations. The largest piece of legislation that has funded the Regional Watercraft Inspection Monitoring Rapid Response Program and Flowering Rush has been the Water Resources Development Act, or WRDA, and its Aquatic Plant Control Watercraft Inspection and Decontamination Program, referred to as ABC-WID. I apologize for all the acronyms, but we do need them sometimes. So the Water Resources Development Act was originally passed in 2014. With that and appropriations, it started the watercraft inspection decontamination program in 17. It was then, WRDA was then reauthorized. This is a bill that Congress actually gets along on and gets something passed every 2 years, which is a pretty big deal in the way Congress is running right now. The program is set up at 50% federal money, 50% non-federal money. So it's been our biggest regional funding opportunity over the last 7 years. Originally, this was set up just for the Columbia River Basin, this program. Thanks in part, thanks a lot to people like Representative Mike Simpson, groups like Pacific Northwest Economic Region, Power Planning Council, and a lot of Democrat and Republican representatives got this thing passed for the Columbia. But then as the years went on and it got reauthorized, people got wise to, hey, there's money there that we could tap into for our states. So you see the Russian River, that's in now, Upper Missouri, Upper Colorado, South Platte, and Arkansas. And coming soon, those watersheds that are US-Canada border and the Great Lakes are going to be added. So there's a lot of states. I haven't counted them all up. It's got to be, when this thing is fully funded, fully involved, it's probably going to be 35 states, something like that. What this has caused is, so it's a very large program. We have seen that the states, tribes, and universities that participate in this are match limited. Those of you that work on grants know that some of your federal grants need to have match, non-federal match. So one of the things we're trying right now in the 2024 reauthorization of WRDA is to get that match changed to 75% federal, 25% state. And then I believe CritFic, last I heard, they were going to put in a request to make it 100% federal with no state match. So that's where we are on that. So the program is broken up. The WRDA APC WID program is broken up into watercraft inspection, monitoring, rapid response, and flowering rush. You can see the agencies that are involved in those. Rapid response is new this year as ISDA and NIC. They're applying for reimbursement from the Corps for their September-October eradication event. WDFW, Justin Bush, they're also putting in for rapid response planning for 2024. And we've had flowering rush, problematic weed in the Northwest, Idaho, Washington, and Salish Kootenai College are involved in that. The tribes have been involved in the WRDA program. The tribes there are listed. We're always looking for new participants. Usually these are contracted out through the state agency where you are located. Important to know that BIA funds can be used as match and BPA funds, but BIA funds have been used in the past to match this program. And I would encourage anybody that has interest in an invasive species program that's not already in it. If you've got access to BIA, you've got match. And the program has to date spent tens of millions of dollars since 2017. Appropriation, so we watch Congress on how much money gets into funding this program, and this year we got a problem. So you can see when the program started back in 2016, $4 million in appropriations. That's when it was just the Columbia River Basin. But then the program grew as we added all those new basins. And we got up to $38 million in 23, and we're like, oh boy, you know, things are going great. Then 24 came, and we got slashed down to $9 million. So this is something that will need to be addressed in FY25. And just to make a point on this, in FY22 and 23, we got 18 million and 20 million. Got slashed to 9 million in 24. And then what we're doing now with our partners like WDFW is going back in and trying to get that larger amount reinstituted. It, with all the new basins coming online, we estimate $23 million will be needed. Just finishing up a couple other things we have on our website at westernas.org/monitoring. Here are where all of the entities, there's tribal data in here too, are monitoring for quagga and zebra mussels, for eDNA, veligers, and also visual shoreside sampling. And the map's being updated right now with 2023 data. So you can go to that site and see that.
I just got 3 minutes left, Stephen.
Oh yeah, we're almost done.
All right.
So we've got, we also have, if you're interested in seeing where watercraft inspection stations are, we've got an interactive map, which shows a station. You click on the beetles there, and a station will pop up with its operating hours and who runs it. So thank you. In closing, again, go to westernas.org. We also have a bi-monthly newsletter, Aquatic Invasive Species News, that's done by Robin Drawheim. And if you're interested in getting on that mailing list, shoot me an email. And once again, thanks to our program sponsors, and I'm very happy to be able to present to you today. Thank you.